Are you unknowingly begging for things that could be damaging your self-worth? In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of relationships, but not in the way you might think. We're not talking about lovey-dovey stuff today. Instead, we're focusing on the things you should never chase, the behaviors that are honestly giant red flags. I've seen so many people get caught up in trying to fix or win over someone, but really, they're just chasing after things they shouldn't. Trust me, your peace of mind is way more valuable, and you deserve a healthy relationship. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, let's get right into it. Here are 5 things you should absolutely never ever chase in a relationship. Number 1, chasing consistent validation. This is a big one, chasing consistent validation. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's that constant need for your partner to tell you, "You're great, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're everything I want," and so on. Listen, it's nice to hear that they love you, but there's a difference between natural affection and needing that praise to feel okay about yourself. You know, if you're constantly fishing for compliments or reassurance, and your whole mood depends on whether or not they give it to you, that's a problem. Let's talk about this because it's so common. The thing is, a healthy relationship should have a baseline of mutual respect and appreciation. You shouldn't have to beg for it or feel empty unless you're getting that validation. What's going to happen if they're busy and don't give you attention? Does that mean you're not worthy? Here's the real issue. If you're chasing validation from your partner, you're essentially handing them control over your self-worth. And let me tell you, nobody should have that kind of power over you. This goes for both men and women. You should not always be looking for external validation. Validate yourself. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, if you're in a relationship and it feels like you're always having to ask for reassurance, it's time to take a step back and ask yourself why. It's time to prioritize your own self-worth and not depend on others to validate it. Number 2, chasing someone who's emotionally unavailable. Next on the list is chasing someone who's emotionally unavailable. Oh, this is a classic. You might notice they have a hard time expressing their feelings. They shut down during conflict, or they're constantly hot and cold. One day you're on top of the world, and the next you're wondering if you even exist to them. Now, sometimes we think, okay, maybe they're just hurt. Maybe they've been through some trauma. Maybe they need my help. Let me try to win their heart. And we start this whole process of trying to break down their walls. But listen, trying to fix someone is a dead end. You end up exhausting yourself, and most of the time, they won't actually change. If someone is consistently distant or unwilling to open up, it's a strong indicator that they're not ready for a healthy relationship. Why waste your time? Why do you have to overanalyze every word they say? You shouldn't do that. Remember what Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Chasing someone who is emotionally unavailable is like trying to fill a bucket with holes. You'll pour all your energy and effort into them, and you'll get nothing back. Or if you do, it'll be very limited. You deserve a partner who's willing to meet you halfway and share their feelings with you. Period. Number 3, chasing their past self. All right, let's talk about chasing someone's past self. This one's sneaky, but it happens a lot. Maybe you met someone who was amazing at the beginning and they slowly changed. But you keep saying, "Oh, but they used to be so romantic," or "They were so present and available," or "They used to text me every single day." So, you're stuck in the past, chasing this ghost of who they used to be instead of facing who they are now. You're basically in love with an idea, not a person. It's like you are not seeing the person. Instead, you are seeing an old version of them, and that is why it hurts more. People change. That is a fact of life. Holding onto a version of them that no longer exists is going to leave you incredibly disappointed. And it also prevents you from seeing the person you have today. You won't be able to accept it or move on. You need to see the person in front of you, not the memory of them. If they don't put in the work, you should just move on. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The truth is that people grow and they move on from different stages in their life, and you need to see the person you have now. You deserve a relationship that's growing and evolving, not one that's stuck in the past. Number 4, chasing someone who doesn't respect you. Never chase someone who doesn't respect you. Now, respect is the bare minimum. We've got to be clear on that. It's non-negotiable. This means they listen to you, they value your opinions, they don't try to control you, and they treat you with kindness, period. If your partner is constantly putting you down, making fun of you, ignoring your boundaries, or just plain dismissing you, then that's a huge red flag. You are better than that. Some people might make an excuse and say, "Oh, it's a joke." No, if you have constantly spoken up about it and they still do not stop, then that is disrespect. Chasing someone who disrespects you is like repeatedly banging your head against the wall. It hurts, it's pointless, and it doesn't change anything. In fact, it will get worse. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. If you accept disrespect, that's what you'll get. Why would they start respecting you? Walk away from anyone who treats you like you're less than. You deserve someone who cherishes and values you for who you are. Epictetus said, "The key is to keep company with only people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Number 5, chasing someone who's unwilling to commit. Last but not least, let's talk about chasing someone who's unwilling to commit. Now, this doesn't have to be marriage. It could just be committing to a relationship. It's not having a partner that is always saying, "Let's see how things go," or "I am not sure of this," or "I am afraid." Maybe they avoid labels, or they're always talking about their freedom, or they are scared of getting into relationships, or it feels like they always keep their options open, and you are just waiting in line. But you keep holding on to that string of hope. It will be exhausting. If someone is not willing to invest in the relationship, it's a waste of your time. It shouldn't be a mystery about how they feel about you. You will be left wondering, overthinking, and it'll just be emotionally draining. As Seneca wisely said, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Don't waste your days waiting." Don't let yourself get strung along by someone who isn't serious about you. You are worthy of a partner who wants to be with you, who is willing to work and grow with you. Remember this. So, those are 5 things you should never chase in a relationship. Remember, your happiness and well-being are not something to be compromised. Instead, you are doing yourself a favor by having some standards for yourself. As Epictetus put it, freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of men's desires, but by the removal of desire. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to know your experience. Have you ever chased any of these things? Share your thoughts and experiences down below, and let's talk about it. Stay strong, and remember to always choose yourself.